Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life, that there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there, like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. It is this feeling that has brought you to me. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The Matrix.
Do you want to know what it is? The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
What truth?
That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind. Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Peace, 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 peace. It's the Thinking Man's Templar once again. Where we said one red pill life far weighs 1,000,000 blue pill lives, so where the soldiers can come in from the war, remove their armor, drop their golden swords, and have conversations with like-minded men, and indeed I'm at your service. Shout out to all the subscribers. One love to you, gentlemen. Don't forget to subscribe to the Thinking Man live page. I'll put a link in the description. I'm gonna start doing my live stream soon. I wanted to get the numbers up so we can have a more fluid conversation. You gentlemen, go ahead, man. Once you get in there, just go ahead and click that link and subscribe if you haven't always. This is gonna be strictly for live, baby. I really want to do live streams, man. I'm like, man. I'm so jealous of these guys that get to do their live stream, man. I want to do it so bad. Go ahead and jump on that Patreon. Support brothers on there. Also, you can donate via PayPal, whatever the case may be. Don't worry if it's $1, $2, $50, whatever you feel. Don't worry about it. It's not about the money. Go ahead and check out that Bandcamp. There's music on there if you want. Whatever you need to do. Alright, so let's get started. I want to shout out my brother Khalid. Just spoke to this brother. Lives in Phoenix. I'm heading out to Phoenix now. We're going to link up, grab some food. Again, I implore brothers to link up. Get together. Make it happen. You understand? Do it like that. Shout out to my other brother DeMarco out of Inglewood. I'm gonna get with you too, brother. When I get back around, we keep missing each other, but we're gonna make it happen. Also, not really also, let's just get to it, man. Topic of this discussion is gonna have 3 parts. But the topic is gonna be S.D.E. S.D.E. Sports, drugs, and entertainment. You're like, what does that mean? Is that... No, and I'm not talking about Cameron's second album. I'm talking about sports, drugs, and entertainment. When I talk about sports, drugs, and entertainment, I mean the only black people that we look up to, your children look up to, in today's world, the only people we care about are those that have to do with sports, drugs, and or entertainment. That is the extent of our attention span. That's all we aspire to be. Those are our dreams. Even though a small percentage of these people in sports, drugs, and entertainment actually become truly successful. Yet we have a whole population of black people pursuing the same 3 avenues in search of fame, stardom, riches, wealth, all that good stuff. And it's pretty much holding our people in a state of decline, especially our children. First, we're going to start with sports. Now, I like sports. I'm not going to say I don't. I'm an avid basketball fan. I've been a fan since a kid. Even though the NBA is not the same as what it used to be, and it never will, I still watch the game. Mostly highlights. I don't really sit around and watch a full game of basketball. I don't like how it's played nowadays, so I just go watch the condensed version on YouTube, and that's pretty much good for me, you know. But sports. All our lives, we've been idolizing the Michael Jordans, the Magics, the Allen Iversons, the LeBron Jameses, the whoever and who else. The Michael Vicks, the Barry Sanders, you know, Bo Jacksons. Whoever you can look and think was a great player, Darryl Strawberry, and anyone. Football, Lawrence Taylor, Joe Montana, you know, whoever you think is now someone that you like, you know. We were always gunned at sports when we were kids. You know, we was always playing ball, playing football, playing baseball. That's what we did. There wasn't much to do in the hood. You know, it was a good way to get respect. You know what I mean? If you could play some ball, people respected you. You know what I mean? People respected what you was about. If you could play football, you get admiration from the girls, from your classmates in school, people around the neighborhood. It just meant something to everybody. And what I come to find out is, at this point in time, black people need to expand their horizons. You know, we have enough people playing basketball, we have enough people playing football. And, you know, as we get older, we realize that a lot of these organizations just use these men like slaves, you know. They're high-paid slaves. They don't own the leagues. They don't own the teams. They don't own the sneakers except for Lonzo Ball. They don't own pretty much anything that has to do with their name, their brand, all of that. Even in the NFL, we see that certain levels of racism in NFL sports. A man speaks out against police brutality and is quickly blackballed from the NFL. And we continue to support a league that does not support us. They just want us to entertain them on the gridiron, on the basketball court, in the square circle, in the boxing ring. And often our athletes end up broke and impoverished. They can't keep their riches. They go through financial issues, drama, jail, things like that. And we never think of it as somewhat a hindrance to us as a people. That we have all these athletes, we have all this money and riches being circulated amongst all these athletes, but no money comes back. I mean, it's little organizations and, you know, but it's like no schools, no hospitals. It's just money spent on cars and things like that. And we wonder why black people are so behind. We never utilize these opportunities, you know, and we look at it where these men, it's kind of like in that movie Django, where the white slave masters were making the two black men fight on the ground to the death. That's basically what our athletes are, you know, entertainers. We don't want to hear about your political stance or your ideologies on your people. We don't care. Just like that white newscaster told LeBron James, stick to playing basketball. You know, when he spoke about things that concerned him. Stick to bouncing the ball. That's all we care about. We don't care about what you got in your head. And yet we keep, you know, funneling our children into these basketball camps instead of science camps, instead of space camp, instead of anything else. We funnel our children into basketball and baseball. We continue to pump their brains up with these ideologies that they can one day be a professional athlete, even though these leagues have such limited spots. It's like it's like such a small percentage of men that make it and actually get there. And then we have kids that put their whole lives into sports. They don't have anything else that they're good at. By the time they realize they can't play basketball, they get hurt. You know, and it's something about, you know, we have these single mothers that, you know, so quick to throw their sons into basketball, football, to get them out the house, you know. They don't try to teach their sons any better. Like, why don't you try to be a doctor or someone who studies law or a physicist or engineer or someone who deals with economics and money and finance, you know, things that are useful, instead of jumping out the window for a pipe dream. You know, they don't care. They just thinking about their son eventually making a bag that they can live off. As you can see, these, you know, the NBA especially, it definitely caters to the single mother narrative for black men that play. They love to tell you how an athlete didn't come from nothing. He grew up without his father. He's here for his mother, and he wants to take care of his mom and buy his mom a house, right? They love pumping that story because back in the 60s, you had athletes like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Muhammad Ali, you had Jim Brown, among others. And these men would begin to speak out against political issues. They would use their name, they would use their fame to bring attention to the things that were troublesome in the black community. You know what I mean? And Ali, you know, converting to Islam, the same as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you know, and Jim Brown. These guys spoke out in a political sense. And these were men that came from a certain background, a different breed of black men. So now sports wants to tell you about all these young men who came up without any fathers, and you notice a lot of them have no agenda other than to play ball, make a good teammate, be a good employee, when it's easy to say that these athletes, especially in the NBA, if they really wanted to start their own league, I mean, how hard could it be? You know, how hard could it be? People will watch you guys play basketball. You know, you guys go to the Drew League and the places people are falling out the stands to watch a James Harden or LeBron James play with regular dudes. So why can't we start our own league? All of that money, you guys didn't save up enough money. You're not even thinking about empowerment and using your talents to free yourselves. And I also look at the NBA at the single mother raised man and how it had their softness, their lack of durability, their lack of mental toughness and emotional toughness. You see a lot of these players don't even want to play competitive ball. They want the rules so loose where the game is no defense anymore, no contact, and everybody wants to flop for a call and play this soft way of basketball. And at the end of the day, the game loses a lot of its personality when it's all about players scoring 135 points because they don't want to play hard. They want to jump on a good team and get an easy ring. They don't want to be real rivals. And if you lose that year, you stick to your team and you go back and you toughen out and you train and you try to come back the next year and win. You understand? Because these guys don't want to play. They don't want to challenge themselves. They just want the easy way through, like a woman. You know what I mean? They don't want the challenge. They don't want to push themselves to the limit if they lose. They don't want to be losers. You know, they're part of this generation of these second place trophy winners. You know, even though some of these men are talented, they still don't want to be the guys that lose. You don't want to, you know, be on the back end of a playoff series and have to bounce back the next year. No, we want to jump on a super team now and almost guarantee victory. You know, and we want to throw our kids into this melting pot when it's ultimately stealing our children from other fields of interest. You know, and that's what really it's held as a detriment to black people. You know, they want to portray these men as great. Your kids want to look up to LeBron James and Steph Curry and whoever. But these kids can't name one doctor. These kids can't name one powerful lawyer or one investment banker that's black. They can't name one engineer. They can't name too many astrologers. I mean, people that deal with astronomy and space. You know, other than Neil deGrasse Tyson. And these kids have no interest in these things. They have no interest in finance. All they want to do is be the kid who can run the fastest in the combine, who can play the best at the AAU camp, the training camp. That's all they want to do. They want to be strong in body, weak in mind. Again, these women are breeding these bucks that don't push back. They're just physically strong, mentally weak. They don't have the cognitive abilities to think about the situation, and even though they're paid well, they don't think to why can't we own our own league? Why can't we take this and monetize it for ourselves? Why do we have to play for white men and white people? Why can't we play for ourselves? Make the money for ourselves. Other than Ice Cube, you see what I mean? Why can't Ice Cube get NBA players to say, you know what, let's all do that. Let's all put some money up where it doesn't have to be a big three. It could be a real league with real teams. You know what I mean? What's up with that? You know, we used to play a lot of ball back in the day, and you always notice every hood, every impoverished neighborhood, there's a basketball court somewhere. Even in my hood, the basketball court used to get shot up. You know, and I'm gonna tell you how all these tied together, because the basketball court was where all the drug dealers were. And that's why I want to talk about drugs. The only people our kids look up to are people that are addicts, drug dealers, or people that portray drug dealers and advocate the lifestyle through their music. You know, the Rick Rosses and whoever, the Little Pumps that want to talk about drinking lean and doing Percocets and Oxycontin, and you know, these guys that want to tell your kids it's okay to go out and be a hustler, stand on the corner, even though ultimately it leads to his demise, because in the streets there's no way out. It's only a grave or a cell. You know, when I came up back in New York, a lot of guys, and I always say this, a lot of guys are getting a lot of money. A lot of guys in my family, they're pushing, you know, exotic cars. They had a lot of jewelry. They had a lot of money, you know, fast money, but they were dealing in a lot of violence, a lot of death. A lot of their time was lost to jail, and a lot of them ended up in an early grave. Didn't even make it to their 30s. They're just people that we talk about in legend of things they did 25, 30 years ago. But these men are washed up, standing on the corner still, or they're doing a life bid, or they just regular, working a regular job, but all of that money's gone. What happened to all that money? What happened to all those millions of dollars and hundreds of thousands of dollars that you guys spent on Porsches and Ferraris and you know, rims and Benzes, BMWs and motorcycles and scooters and jewelry and cars and fly vacation? You know, where'd all that money go? Because I remember in my family, a lot of the guys made a lot of money, but I don't remember anybody getting any college funds. I don't remember anybody getting their money paid, getting a free ride to school. You know, I don't remember too many of us getting cars when we got our licenses. None of that. You know, we just got to watch these guys be selfish and squander their money and waste it. And then we got to sit there and call ourselves looking up to these dudes now. Because you dudes are, oh, you didn't die, you didn't go to jail, so now I got to look up to you because you some type of OG. You an OG? Really? What? How you an OG? Because you used to hustle back in the day and now you got nothing? Because you used to hustle back in the day and used to kill people back in the day, but you never got caught? I'm supposed to care? Or you did 15 years and now you home and I'm supposed to respect you? For what? What you do for me? What you built in my neighborhood that makes a difference? What money did you set aside for some kids to go to school? Nothing. So fuck your OG talk. They come back home from jail and they want you to respect them. And these kids look up to these clowns on TV. Rick Ross and all these suckers. They want to portray a street life that they haven't touched in decades. You understand? You're making $1 million, but you still want to rap about how you hustle? You sound like an idiot. Why would you still be talking about drugs? And how you got weed, you got weight in the street, and you got chickens in the street, and birds, and bricks, and you toting a stick, and you kill this, and you got this young boy to do your dirt. My young boy will kill you, and if I give him the word. You know, this is shit they talk about. They want to make it seem like they so connected to the street. Yeah, you might be connected to the street. You got friends in the hood and shit like that. But it just doesn't make sense that we still out here idolizing rappers that don't tell your kids shit. All about drugs. All we care about is the hustler. All we care about is getting high. You know? How much liquor we gonna drink? How much weed we gonna smoke? How many pills you gonna pop? How much Molly you gonna have? You know, you see these people in the nightclubs and the bars doing coke. People doing coke still. There's people right now, 2018, still doing coke, still smoking crack. 20, 30 years, still smoking crack. Still on heroin. You know, still sniffing and breaking up pills and snorting pills and Percocets and all that bullshit. Sipping lean, which is damn near heroin. Opioids and shit like that. We still got people still talking about that and still doing that. You know what I'm saying? In 2018. And these are the people your kids want to be. Because this guy's outside, he got a new car, he got a big chain. Your kid's looking at that. He see you working 2 jobs. And ain't no father to keep him from the streets. The mom is at work all day. Because she ain't need nobody to protect her or earn or provide. So she got to work 2 or 3 jobs. So her kid is free to go out and do whatever, just like I was. And they wonder why their kids end up in prison or in a gang or dead. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about our kids. Nobody cares what they do. You know what I mean? It makes no sense. Kids shouldn't have to be home by themselves. Like how we used to be home by ourselves. All night, all day. You know what I mean? No supervision. Kids shouldn't be home by themselves. It should be no reason. Kids should be home with at least a mom. At least the father at home. If the mom is gone, somebody should be home. Or y'all all together. Your kids should never have to be by themselves. Where your daughter could sneak boys in the house. I know I'm going a little off topic, but you know, it should never be like that. It should always be somebody home. We shouldn't even have to really send our kids to school. You see what I mean? We should be able to educate our own kids, but again, our women don't need us. They wanna do it on their own, you know? They don't need men. They wanna provide for themselves. So instead, we gotta send our kids to public school so they can get their indoctrination, their 12-year indoctrination into the system, you know, where they don't learn entrepreneurial skills. They learn how to be workers. They learn how to work for somebody. Never had an aspiration to own nothing. other than a corner to sell drugs. Sick shit, man. Twisted how it is with us. These are the people we look up to, addicts, dealers. You know? Back in the day, we used to say you could only be a customer back in the day. You know what I'm saying? You either a hustler or you the customer. Which one is it? If your kids are sitting there watching, they the customer and they're taking whatever he's selling. Kids out here doing lean because they see it on TV. They see people smoking weed and they want to smoke weed and get high because they see it on TV. You know what I mean? I don't knock people who smoke weed, but I always thought about people who smoke weed don't like making money. If you ain't hustling it, if you ain't selling it, you smoking it, can't get a job, piss test. I never understood it. Never was for me. Never could really smoke. I have, but it just never was. It wasn't for me mentally. I just didn't like it. I didn't see the point. And then and it's so expensive to me, I was like, why would you even do that? But last thing I want to talk about is entertainment, man. Like, see, the media believes that all we care about is sports, drugs, and our entertainment, which is our music, our gossip, our Cardi B's and our Nicki Minaj's, and, you know, Cardi B and her divorce from her wet nose simp, and Nicki Minaj and whoever on reality TV, these people that we pretend that, you know, reality TV wouldn't be a thing if people didn't want to do it. We got people that aspire to be on reality TV. Women that consider themselves famous for being on reality TV and have some sort of fame and have followers and people that support them just for being on reality TV and making a fool of themselves. You know? It's so easy to distract us with gossip. You know? We believe everything we hear. Everything they tell us, we believe. Everything they tell us about whoever, we believe it. We eat that shit up. What Drake do? What Kanye do? What? And that's all people want to talk about. That's what people want to dedicate themselves to. Worrying about what other people doing. Rich people. It's like, yo, when do people finally get to the point where you think like an individual? Why do you have to be your life has to be completely surrounded and engulfed and immersed in entertainment and Facebook and Instagram and what people are telling you and gossip and people gossiping about their lives and telling you their business all day? Is that really what it is? People are so afraid to live within the reality and the solitude of their own minds that they have to stay constantly distracted. You have to stay in a constant state of distraction because you don't want to live within the confines of your own mind and your own consciousness and deal with your own reality. People want to hide from it. They want to mask it. They want to keep it in the back of their head. Nobody wants to deal with what's waiting when you close your eyes and sit in the dark. Nobody does. All people want to do is hide from their very own realities. Whether it be with sports, drugs, entertainment. You know, people don't want that feeling of maybe regret, or that feeling of failure that might come creeping in when you start thinking, when you start reflecting, when you start thinking about the mistakes you made, when you start thinking about the things that got you where you are in life. You know, a lot of people want to stay distracted from their own reality, the reality of your life. People want to be able to scroll a phone. As soon as you get to a stoplight in your car, you want to grab your phone, look up and go scroll on Facebook for 10 seconds until the light changes. Just to get immersed in somebody else's life, because you don't want to deal with your own life. You don't want to deal with your own mistakes. You don't want to deal with the things you know you need to do that you're not doing. You don't want to look in the mirror of your own mind. So you rather stare into a screen on your phone all day. Now don't get me wrong, a phone is useful, information keeps you connected, but people are too connected. You're too connected. What's wrong with being off the grid? What's wrong with being where people can't find you? Where somebody has to really find you. If they want to find you, they have to find you, literally. What's wrong with that? Why does everything have to be instant access, microwave life? You know, why is your kid 9 years old with a smartphone? 10 years old with a smartphone on social media? Dudes want to wonder why your daughter's out sleeping around and why she got access to all these boys. Because she can get on the computer and they can text and chat. She can get on a dating site and change her name, deal with some type of rapist or pedophile. Back in my day, if you didn't have a phone, you couldn't just be talking to anybody on the phone. I remember mad times my mom would pick up the phone, hang that phone up. I don't care who you talking to. My mom would listen in on phone calls. She hear me talking to girls. Shit like that. You can't monitor your children. You're giving all of the freedom to kids to be on their cell phone talking all night. To be on their cell phone talking to people in sexual manners. Sending sexual photos. Young girls already sending twerk videos and naked pictures to boys in middle school and high school. Because you're so avid to keep your kids entertained so you won't have to talk to them. So you won't have to sit them down and ask them how their day. Being that these kids most likely don't sit down at the dinner table like a family and eat dinner. You know, because the mom's never there. The mom's is working. These kids come home and eat McDonald's for dinner. And KFC and Popeyes. Because they don't got nothing else to eat. You know, because your parents don't want to talk to your children. You don't want to sit down and ask them what's clicking in their brain. Dudes is finding out, mothers is finding out their kids are sexually active when they're pregnant. Or when their son has gotten somebody pregnant. That's when you find out your daughter's sexually active? When she has a kid? Because you paid so little attention to her and you let her have all this access to all these boys that now you have to deal with the fact that your daughter has used the phone that you bought her to go hook up with somebody. Entertainment. You want to keep your kids off your back so you can sit on your phone and scroll away. So you can sit and watch your TV and watch TV till your life just dwindles away and let all that bullshit get in your head and all that programming, that subliminal subconscious programming get in your mind. All that bullshit telling you what to think, what to eat, what to believe. Black people don't have the liberty or the luxury to be like that. We don't have the luxury to be caught up in all of these fake, synthetic, brainwashing, self-induced comas, intellectual comas that we do to ourselves. We don't have the luxury, man. We don't have the luxury to be siphoning and shaping all our kids just to be athletes and rappers. You got grown men in their 30s and 40s still trying to be a rapper. Still trying to rap. You don't feel embarrassed saying that you rap. You don't feel embarrassed telling people that you're an MC. I used to be an MC, and I'm nice. I always was nice. I was always exceptionally good at rapping and making music. It just was something I was good at. I done did some dope shit with music, man. I done been in cyphers with Jizza, held my own, freestyle, all type of shit. Battled Most Def like in Atlanta like 15 years ago, came to a draw. I was always exceptional at hip hop. But after a while, I seen the message that they was putting out. I saw that where they wanted the game to go, and I felt like as a man, I couldn't waste any more time in something like that. When for you to really be truly successful, you got to be a sellout. You got to be someone who tells your people it's okay to kill and murder, and be a drug dealer, and destroy themselves. And I just couldn't do it no more. I literally couldn't do it no more. For real. And it's sad when you think about it, man. Like, dudes really like, damn, you still trying to rap? Ain't no money in that shit no more. We don't even own it. We don't even own the distribution of our music or nothing. I think that's the saddest part. Like, we literally don't own nothing that has to do with an art form that we created. Isn't that sad? We have no say in what type of message gets put out. We have no say in how our finances are distributed, how we make our money. None. We have no control over the music that we put out, that we created. I think that's a tragedy as far as black people are concerned, you know? You know, I think it's a tragedy that we've been playing in the NBA for 20 years, 30 years, and nobody's thought to start their own league. You know, they pump materialism on it, so anytime we get some money, we don't feel no problem with giving it right back. You know, we make some money, we want to spend it. We make some money, we want to buy the new sneakers. We make some money, we want to get the car. We want to get the expensive crib, not a house. We get an apartment. We want to give it right back. We get some money, we want to go right to the corner store, spend all our money in a store that takes the money and leaves. The R.I.P store, the Chinese restaurant. How we don't own these things? How do we create a culture of fashion, but yet we don't even own clothing stores in our own neighborhoods? It's like, you know, Saudi Arabian dudes that's in there selling you your own style. He's selling you your own style back to you, but you created it. Isn't that crazy? You got Korean people and Saudi Arabian and, you know, Arab dudes selling you clothes that they don't even wear. They're selling you your style. You got Chinese people in the hood feeding your children food that they don't even eat themselves. I haven't eaten Chinese food, like a hood Chinese food store. I don't even deal with it. You don't even know what that shit is half the time. You know what I mean? Like, if I eat Chinese food, it's gonna be like P.F. Chang's or something. I'm not even dealing with nothing less than that. People want to go to the hood Chinese store and feed your children. My mom used to buy us Chinese food all the time. And we used to love that shit. Eat up all that fried shit, that fried rice and fried chicken and MSG and all that crap. Pork fried rice and this and that. We used to eat that shit up, man. Eat it up. And it's like, you know, nutrition and health is not an issue, because in our entertainment, we're told that, you know, we're supposed to live for the moment, you know. Ball out, steak and lobster. Ball out, you gotta get a bottle of Henny on a Friday, man. What you doing, man? It's Friday, you supposed to have some Henny, man. Why you ain't got no Henny? It's Friday, it's the weekend. Why you ain't drunk somewhere? Why you ain't high somewhere? You ain't got no weed, it's Friday. You ain't spending $40 in the Arab liquor store, in the Korean liquor store, in the Puerto Rican liquor store. You ain't giving them no money for liquor. On Friday, come on, baby, you gotta spend that money. You're supposed to live it up. You're supposed to be partying, baby. Why you not doing that? Why are you doing that? Do you even know? Do you even know why you drink? Maybe because your whole family's alcoholics. And alcoholism has been passed down to you because you grew up around alcoholics and weed users and drug dealers and crackheads. Why are you even smoking weed? Do you even know why? Are you doing it because you have to, or is it enlightening your mind, or are you doing it because, oh, your mom used to smoke weed, or your uncle, or your brother, or the cats in your neighborhood, and you want to feel cool? You know what I mean? I remember I used to feel funny because I couldn't roll a blunt back in the day. I couldn't roll a blunt, so I felt insecure. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. I used to feel some type of way because I couldn't roll weed, yo. I could never roll because I never smoked like that. I wasn't a smoker where I learned how to roll. And you know what? I meet chicks nowadays, they can roll a blunt with their eyes closed, man. Chicks be drunk as hell, man. I done dated women that drank more than me. Drank more than me, that was drunk all the time. Needed a beer, needed some liquor. Early in the morning, they can't be sober, man. Literally, can't be sober. God forbid this woman has to be sober. She has to sit around and not smoke a blunt. She has to wake up and roll a L. She has to go to sleep. She has to smoke weed before she goes to sleep. I'm telling you, man, you ain't never gonna meet no chick that smoke a lot of weed. Like, come on, man, lips all black and shit. You ain't never gonna meet a woman that smoke mad weed that's getting money. She can't. How's she gonna get money? She can't even. What job she gonna get? What's she gonna do? You know? I'm just saying, man. This is our culture. Like, we just sit around and we do what people tell us to do. And it's fucked up because all we doing is destroying ourselves. Everybody else is living peachy off our destruction. They live in peachy because they figure, shit, if we could get most of these black boys to want to go play basketball and football, shit, they not gonna be studying engineering. You know what I mean? Shit, if you sitting around trying to figure out how to be in the NBA, shit, when you going to be trying to study for a doctorate? Shit, you don't want to be no doctor. Go and shoot them layups, man. Get that layup line going. Get that left hand strong. You know, that's what we do. That's all we want to do. We just want to play ball and all that bullshit, you know? This is kind of me ranting at this point, man. I don't know. I just felt like talking about that because that's something that just bugs me, you know? Just these kids, these girls want to show their kids, oh, my son's in basketball camp and my son's in football camp and da-da-da-da. It's like, what else can he do? Can he read? What's his reading level? You know? What else can he do besides that? But yeah, like, this is like our culture. Our culture is determined by people who poison us mentally, who teach us how to destroy ourselves with chemicals. It's like, you want to drink because Puff Daddy says it's cool? Because Puff Daddy wants to dress up in the 3-piece suit and make it look like something luxurious to be an alcoholic? Celebrate the good times, Ciroc. People talk about Ciroc like it's some exclusive shit. That cheap ass shit. Still gonna make you throw up if you drink too much. I don't even like being drunk no more, man. I might have a little social drink every once in a while, but that shit is rare, man. I might have a little beer. I can't even fuck with cheap ass shit. I gotta drink like some good shit, like some IPA, like, you know, some official. Like, I can't just sit around fucking knocking back Miller Lights and shit like that. I just never, it just ain't in me no more, man. Sitting around I can't remember the last time I bought a bottle. Honest shit. I can't remember the last time I was in a liquor store. Like, I don't. Last time I went in a liquor store and bought a bottle of liquor, I cannot remember. Literally. Weed, that shit was like 15 years ago. You know what I mean? Like college. You know, and I ain't better than nobody that drink. Don't get it fucked up. You drink, you drink. You know, everything in moderation, of course. But it's like, why do we drink? You know, are you trying to ease something? Are you trying to, you know, are you trying to hide something? Are you trying to drown out something? You know? I've gotten comfortable with my pain. I've gotten comfortable with my demons. I invite my demons to dinner, and we talk, and we get familiar. And even some of us have become friends. I made peace with my demons. I don't try to drown them and feed them with liquor. You know, I've seen dudes get drunk and start rambling about shit that happened years ago that they still feeling the brunt and the guilt of, and crying and shit. Because the liquor exposes your soul, you know? It takes off that mask that we try to put on and cover our truths with our consciousness. So then you say, you know, someone's drunk, they're honest. Because their mind isn't quick enough to lie. It's drowning, it's slow, it's warped. So you can't be clever enough to tell a lie because your mind is drunk. It can only tell the truth. Your emotional truths. Things you say. It's a trip, man. It's a trip what people do to mask their pain. You know, like I said, we sit on the phone and we go on Facebook, scrolling away at someone else's life. So you can see if someone's life is worse than yours. You're having a bad day. And people will tell you all type of shit on Facebook. That's why I stopped fucking with that shit, man. You know, people on there to the point where they're making up shit just to get people to say congratulations. You know what I mean? Lying. Lying about succeeding at something so people can say, good job, good job. You just want some false praise. You make up some crazy problem that you just make up so people will feel like, oh, give you some sympathy. Be strong, you got this. Sick times, man. You know, these athletes, they're so soft, man. You know? Look at Kevin Durant, man. His mom emasculates him on TV. You know, he wins a championship, his mom, or whatever he did. His mom, like, grabbed his beard and pulled his face like a 5-year-old. On camera so she can get some light. She's in here beefing with Stephen A. Smith. She wants to get the camera. She wants some shine too. You can't just be the star. Mama gotta shine. If it wasn't for Mama being the MVP, boy, you wouldn't be here. Yeah? But it's really those dudes who is taking you to the park, make you practice your left hand. Those AAU coaches. I was picking your broke ass up and taking you to the play ball. Your mom couldn't afford that shit. But it's, oh, I got to get on camera too. Come on, baby, let me get on camera. I got to talk to Stephen A. I got to get on ESPN and tell Stephen A. Smith how I feel. About him saying you was a sucker for going to a fucking championship team with the best regular season record ever in basketball. Instead of being a man like Jordan and going and taking that loss and coming back the next year trying to win. That's the difference, man. You can't never say none of these dudes is better than Jordan. You can't. You can't. Jordan had heart. On top of the skill and the work ethic, Jordan still played hard. Jordan still played defense like it was offense. Jordan still went up against the hard teams back in the day, the Celtics, the Pistons, the Knicks, the Pacers, the Lakers, and get his ass beat the whole time, but still be a dominant player. You know what I mean? Come on, man. LeBron is good, but LeBron ain't no Jordan. I don't care what he did. Closest thing to Jordan we got is Kobe, because Kobe actually had that killer instinct. Kobe had the competitive nature. on top of the similarities in the game, but he had the mentality of it. And Jordan just had it a little more. That's why he won more. But Kobe still won like 5 rings. You know? Jordan won like 6, so Kobe's like right there. And he left on a better note. You know what I'm saying? Jordan left when he shouldn't have been playing no more. Kobe left when when he wasn't as good, but he still dropped 60 his last game and left on a high note. So can we argue that the only person you can say is close to Michael Jordan is Kobe Bryant? I don't want to hear about LeBron. I like LeBron, but he's nowhere near Jordan mentality. You understand? He didn't have that dog in him when he was on them teams to be able to pull them out of the losing situation. LeBron actually mentally quit a couple of times and you saw it. He doesn't have the heart, man. You know what I mean? You know what the difference between Kobe and Jordan and LeBron is that Kobe and Jordan grew up with strong men in the household that took the time to teach them how to be men and how to be competitive and how to fight and how to work hard. LeBron didn't get that. Look at LeBron's mother. It's a fucking mess. Ex-crackhead, fucking his teammates, sleeping around with younger dudes that just want to be rappers still and corny shit his mom's doing. Like, come on, man. That's why LeBron doesn't have that extra chamber. It's because his mom's. That's why KD doesn't have that heart that would make him say, I'm going to stay on OKC and we're going to fight the Golden State Warriors every year until we beat them. We're not going to go out like that. 3-1 lead, and then we end up losing and not go to that team the next year. That's sucker shit. That's because you like your moms. You think like a woman. We want to go around. We don't got no heart, man. I can't even watch the NBA no more. I can't. The culture of black people is starting to affect everything. The lack of knowledge and wisdom passed down to children is why we got rap the way it is now. A bunch of kids that can't even hardly speak. They don't even have the ability to properly conduct themselves in music. They can't even speak in an interview. They're slow. They have no knowledge of self, no wisdom, nothing. That culture is starting to affect all of these things. Now these kids is doing hard drugs, younger and younger and younger, strung out, burnt out, pilled out, going to rehab, thinking it's cool. This mentality is starting to affect us in every aspect. Now look at entertainment. We barely have any strong images on TV, film, whatsoever. Barely. We don't have anything. Black people went and got behind Black Panther to damn near $4 or $5 billion. You telling me black people can't stand on their own financially, but we don't have any grocery stores in our neighborhoods? We don't have any stores that feed us basic things? You want to rely on other cultures to feed you and clothe you? We want to rent apartments for our whole life and live in the projects, but we can spend $4 billion on a fantasy movie about a made-up character in a made-up place? But these kids probably can't name nobody from the Civil Rights Movement, nobody from the Black Panthers. But they know Wakanda forever. Some fake shit. Isn't that crazy? It's the culture. It's dead. We have no images on entertainment. We got like Tiffany Haddish playing the ghetto hood rat. And they give her all the money in the world to be a fucking hood rat and embarrass herself and make black people go back 10 years. And everybody gets mad when we call it out. We got Kevin Hart being put at the top of the world for being a weak, crybaby, scaredy cat in every movie, a bitch with no masculinity whatsoever, putting on dresses and shit, and then gets kicked off the Oscars for making gay tweets. Motherfucker, what you thought was going to happen from being like that? Nobody to look up to. Nobody that the kids can say, I want to be like that person. But the person they look up to is flawed. They put there for a reason. Motherfuckers ain't funny like that. They're not entertaining like that. They're not talented like that. These rappers aren't talented like that. All these talented MCs out there, and all you can find is these little mumble mouth retards to make music and put on a pedestal, and they got 400 million views and shit like that. Tekashi 6ix9ine and all that clown shit. But nobody wants to sign a rapper that really has something to say. And they want to tell you music doesn't influence kids. Music doesn't mean nothing. Sports, drugs, and entertainment, man. All those things go together. It's the only thing that black people got. It's the only thing we aspire to have. To entertain. To be high and drunk. To mask the pain and the reality of being black in this world. In this hell ground that we call America. We have to stay drunk and high so we don't deal with the reality of what we live every day. Shit is crazy. We want to sit there and worry about Cardi B and all these entertainers who ain't about shit. Cardi B teaches the girl to be a slut. Look, a slut can still get married. A whore, a stripper, can still get married. Don't give a fuck about nothing. How you a married woman, but I seen your breasts multiple times in multiple videos. Shit is crazy. These athletes is all suckers and simps and weak. Future got your kids thinking it's cool to have 8, 9 kids, be on drugs all the time. Come on, man. Sports, drugs, and entertainment, man. The downfall of our people. It's literally handicapping us. Literally. Look who your kids look up to. Your kids don't even look up to you. And you're their parents. They don't even look up to you. They don't even look up to you. You're the parent. You put the food on the table and know that your daughter looks up to Cardi B. She looks up to Nicki Minaj. Telling her all the nasty ass sex shit all day. Putting the idea of sex in the mind of a child. Then you got the internet to go ahead and take it the rest of the way. Your kids don't even know what these drugs are till these rappers tell them what they are. Percocets and Molly and all that. You don't even know about this shit till a rapper talks about it. Then all of a sudden it's the shit now. Everybody wants to be on drugs now. It's cool. Because a rapper says. It's like having kids in this world, you fucked. How are you going to guard the mind of a child from a world like this? How are you going to protect the innocence of a child in a world that tells them to be sexualized and be a criminal and be a killer? Just like these rappers tell your son that it's all right to catch a body and hold a stick and bust a Draco and all that bullshit. Your kids know all the NFL stats and all the NBA stats, but they don't know shit about math and algebra and calculus and engineering and science and English, can't even write. Go to college and flunk out. Your daughter go to college and get knocked up. No aspiration to be anything great with their mind. You have no aspiration to pursue the faculties of intelligence. They don't. Your son gets hurt playing basketball. He doesn't even know what to do with his life. Working in a warehouse somewhere. Because he never built up his mind. All he did was build up his body. Because only women could teach sons to think like that. A man is not going to allow his son to be a one-dimensional, because a man knows that you can't survive being one-dimensional. You can't survive being a man of one hat, having one hustle, having one way to make money, or one thing that you're good at. Only a man can understand that. You can't just play basketball, son. You got to have something else. You got to be great at multiple things. Because your mind might change one day. You might not want to play basketball. Or you may not physically be able to play ball anymore. But they don't tell them that. Nope. These women don't tell their sons that. When their son gets hurt in college, now he has to come back home and sleep on your couch. Because he lost his scholarship. Because he didn't take care of his grades. He could barely read, could barely write his name. So he couldn't do the schoolwork. Nah. Couldn't get an academic scholarship. Nah, no. We don't do academic scholarships like that. Nah, only kids from Nigeria, Africa. Our only education is based upon our physical prowess and nothing more. Isn't that crazy? And we live like that. We love it. We love every minute of it. Sports, drugs, entertainment, baby. That's all black people care about. That's all you care about. That's all you ever gave a fuck about. And now we're starting to realize that we are behind because we don't do that. We don't put our kids in the mentality to be a doctor or foster an education that'll lead you somewhere great. And be great at something with your mind. Not just worrying about how high you can jump or fast you can run or how far you can throw a football or how good your jump shot is. That shit's gotta stop, man. Every rapper, oh, what you used to do before rap? Oh man, I was in the street. I used to sell drugs. I was in the drug game before. Were you really? I don't think you were. I don't think you were, bro. If you was really in the streets, you wouldn't be rapping about it at all. I don't think so. 99.9% of rappers that come out all sold drugs in the past. All of you? Nobody went to college? Nobody worked a regular job? None of you guys? All of you guys were big-time drug dealers in your neighborhood that nobody ever heard of. But now you're rapping, and here you go, telling your life story. Drug, sex, and entertainment, man. Drugs, excuse me, sports, drugs, entertainment. But you could throw sex in there too. You know what I mean? And I'm going to shout out my man Khalid. And he told me something. Elijah Muhammad said, black people lost the ability to understand mating, business, and warfare. That's what was stripped from us. And those are the three things that keep us held back. Those are the three things that keep us from being anything in any competitive light on an international, worldwide scale. Yes, indeed. Those three handicaps. This video's long enough, man. I did one, and I have some more thoughts, so I'm going to attach the two. But you know what I'm getting at. Peace. This is Thinking Man's Templar. Don't forget to subscribe, man. Don't forget to share this truth. Don't forget to like the video. It doesn't take any time to like it. Hit the Patreon. Hit the donate button. Leave your comments, man. I fuck with you guys. I love you. It's the Thinking Man's Templar. Be safe out there, man, and cover your six at all times. Peace.